Hi, everybody. I'm hoping that this recording is going to be posted, or this live video is going to be posted, because my phone has not been having a ton of memory, unfortunately. So I'm either going to be one and done doing a live video, or maybe I'll luck out and it'll be posted. So if you see me, just I'll give you a shout out really quickly. I wanted to start with a joke because as this is such a personal topic, I figured may as well lighten the mood. Probably you've heard this one, but it's worth retelling even if you have. The joke goes like this. There's a guy and a girl who are about to marry, and the guy goes and visits his in-laws to be, and they ask him questions about how he intends to support their daughter. And the man says to the in-laws to be, God will provide. Don't worry about that. God will provide. And they ask him a lot of other questions, and I'm probably messing up the joke, but the end of the joke is someone says to the father-in-law, "So, how did the meeting go with your son-in-law to be?" And he says, "It went great. He thinks I'm God." So it's a funny joke, and it is definitely something that I can personally relate to. I remember when my husband and I were meeting with my parents for the first time, and they were asking questions about how we plan on financially making it together as adults. And we said, "Don't worry, we can rough it, and will be happy living in a cardboard box together." And that's truly how we felt. And, even to some degree, 10 years later, I still feel that way somewhere inside of me. But the truth of the matter is that sometimes the realities of living month to month, for those of us who can connect with that and that struggle, it really is difficult. And also, even on the months where you're in the red, are super, super difficult. So if you're fortunate enough to have a great job that pays well, or you're in a position where you don't have to work, that's great. But for the rest of you, maybe you can relate to this feeling of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do at the end of the month? And maybe you had a point in your life when you felt that way, even if now you don't, hopefully. So let's start with this. I mean, one thing is for sure, the Jewish view of any kind of receiving of money, whether it be through an income or through a gift, is that it is all from God. And I don't mean your father-in-law. It's all from Hashem. Everything that we get is from God. So whether it's because we're working incredibly hard or we're not working at all because it's a trust fund, whatever the reason that we get the money, it's from God. And that's a really difficult thing to come to terms with, because some of us work extremely long hours and in a very tough position with a lot of demands, and really feel like that paycheck is ours and that we earned it. So it's a really tough thing to recalibrate and train our minds to realize it's not us, it's God who's giving us this money. And we see that some people's luck can just change on a dime depending on the market. There was a man who I recently heard about who had saved, selling his business until the right time so that he could retire. His business was worth about $3 million. And something happened with the market. I don't remember all the details, but it went south. And it wasn't his business, but it was just the market completely changed on him. And his business that was worth $3 million ended up only being worth $300,000. So his retirement fund became 10% of what it was supposed to be. And, people's financial situations can change very quickly, and it is a scary thing. So when we relate to money, the idea that everything comes from God, and this is yet another way that we're going to have a relationship with Hashem, those are important pieces that we always have to keep in mind, and I certainly do. One thing that's interesting to note, for those of you who are familiar with the different sects of Judaism, there's the Hasidic Jews, the Hasidim, and the Mitnagdim. I actually don't know how to say that in English, but so there's everybody else, and then there's the Hasidim. And they have two different outlooks on money and how to spend it. So Hasidim tend to spend a lot of money and want to spend lavishly on elevating Judaism in their home. And they'll have beautiful homes and beautiful furniture, and everything is absolutely the height of luxury and lavishness. And you'll go to the great big rebbeim, the head rabbis of these Hasidic communities, and they are living beautifully in their homes. And then you'll go to Misnagdim communities, communities from whose beliefs are non-Hasidic. I don't know how to say it. I'm really sorry. Maybe someone can help me out in the comments. And they feel like the way to live life in this world is to live sparingly, and their physical reality, their homes and their furniture and their cars reflect that. So they are not living luxuriously, and both are okay and both are good, and it just depends who you are and what appeals to you and how you think. So Judaism leaves room for both of those attitudes towards money. One attitude being we're going to spend money in order to elevate it and bless God's name, and the other saying, we want to live in a minimalist kind of way, and that every shape and size can fit into one of those categories. So look, in the end of the day, I do believe to some degree the fact that we have the luxury of living in America, and hopefully if you're watching this, you've had not too difficult of a time economically, and maybe I'm hoping no one here has known homelessness or anything or true hunger. So we really have had it quite good, and the idea that we want to really prioritize making money over other things is every single person's choice. For me, I don't want to prioritize making money over other things, because I think there are other things that demand my attention, and my husband's as well. So whether that mean our family or our community, there are other things that I feel I want to say are more important than money. Now, if I couldn't put food on the table, it would be a little bit different. But if we barely scrape by, that's okay I can live with that. Okay, I'll end with this. I do have an attitude, and I know I'm a little bit different than others, that it's going to be okay, financially. But I do believe that that's the correct attitude. It is going to be okay. Whatever happens, you might lose your job and you don't know what you're going to do. And and either you're single or you have a significant other in your life, and you are feeling completely panic stricken of how things are going to work out. And as an Orthodox Jew who has things like kosher food and tuition and a lot of other things, like living in a community which real estate wise can be quite expensive, to consider, it's really something that can feel oppressive when you think too long and dwell on the fear that you're not going to find another job, or that you don't know when your next paycheck is coming. It's really a frightening feeling, and it's difficult for us to see past it. But today I was driving home from work, and I saw this guy passed me in a motorcycle, and he was decked out in a leather jacket, and he looked like cut off t-shirt. Like, he was driving this motorcycle like it was the best motorcycle in the entire world, and it was just him and the road. He was like free as a bird, and it just really struck me. I think probably because when he was passing me, he gave me this look like he was free, he was liberated. And I was like, wow. I had a few kids in the back of the car, and I was trying to get home in one piece and no one fighting and everyone happy, and I was tired. I certainly didn't feel like this man was feeling on the road. But I was looking at him, and I was like, wow, there's something with this man. There's something there. What is it? And it was this like carefree, in the moment, kind of like character trait that he was showing. And he really was. He really appeared to be completely carefree. And it's hard to be a leader in your home, or a leader in your community, or just someone who wants to take on responsibility and make a difference in the world and have that carefree feeling. But I think if we hit the perfect balance and we strike it right, and we're really present and in the moment with our lives, we can have that feeling, because really it's not on us, it's on God, what he's going to give us. And that's not something that we can control. We can't control everything, and that's one of the things we can't. So I do want to strive to have this man's attitude of, yes, everything is my responsibility, but also nothing is in my control, and we are going to be okay financially. And I wish you the blessing of tons of success financially and otherwise in your life. God knows it doesn't make us happy to be rich, so I don't wish anyone any unhappiness, only happiness and good, and you should just have blessings that you'll be able to pay your bills and serve God properly. Okay, bye.